It's about that time. It's time to dive into Legally Served. We just so happen to have attorney Franz Borghardt to my left, sporting a fantastic Borghardt Law fleece. What's happening, man? Look, quarter zip going on.
I love it. The only thing I love better than a fleece vest, shout out to Patty G, is a full fleece with your firm, the Borghardt Law Firm logo on it.
Yep.
Is that like wearing the shirt to the band you're going to see if it's the shirt's band?
It might be a step in the other direction, though, because it's like wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see in concert when you're in the band in the concert. Yeah.
Well, good morning.
By the way, how lost is that reference today? You know where that reference comes from?
Yeah. PCU.
That's right. Jeremy Piven.
Can't even buy the movie on Apple
Really?
Movies. Yeah, that's another rabbit hole.
That turned into prophecy. A movie that was more predictable. It's a documentary before it happened. PCU. Underrated.
So, good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Lots to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Lots to talk about. Trying cases in the media.
Yeah.
I'm familiar a little bit with the media.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean,
you dabble.
I dabble.
You dabble.
Yeah.
You do this show. You hit up basically every other local outlet as well. BRZ, AFB, Louisiana Radio
legal
Network,
analysts. Some call legal analysts.
Some, yeah. And you pop up on Court TV from time to time. It happens. So let's talk about trying cases in the media.
Okay.
Ron Haley said on Friday to the media that we weren't going to try this case in the media, talking about the Maddie Brooks case, and then went on to say we're not.
Proceeded to try the case in the media.
So that's the thing, though. I don't know if we should start with this or end with this, because there's no way to get too far down the page without getting to it. Is it even avoidable at this point?
Well, to be fair, he didn't start it. Let's just be now. Hold on. He didn't start it. The DA's office. And I love the DA's office. The DA's office made some statements. They made some press releases. They've talked about what they plan to do and this, that, and the other. So we're looking at Ronald Haley. We're looking at Ronald Haley and his team of other defense attorneys and saying, is it avoidable? Well, I mean, he didn't start it. And then neither
did the DA's office.
So here's the question.
Because they were asked the questions as well. So because when a woman is raped and killed, the media is going to ask questions about that. That is news.
So bigger picture. And you coach sports.
Yeah.
I know that it's a criminal defense.
Oh, my 3-year Letterman over here?
No. But I know that it's a criminal defense, right? But can a defense attorney, can a defense team, can a good defense be an offense? So that's number one thought is it's not always bad, right, to be on the offensive. And that's what he's trying to do, essentially, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying he did well.
He's a criminal offense attorney.
You know what I mean. You're I can hardly keep a straight face, too. But my point is taken, right? My point is taken. Okay. So the problem is conventional wisdom is be quiet. Let things die down.
Yes.
If it's a case that things can die down.
Yes.
Try to navigate a resolution behind the scenes quietly.
Yes.
If it's a case where that can happen. I don't know that this is a case that could ever happen. So then all of a sudden you have all the world, locally and nationally, making decisions on this case, and not one shred of evidence has been produced in the court of law. Not one. Not one.
Well, because it hasn't reached a court of law yet.
But everybody else is talking about it, and I come full circle. Right. Is it not appropriate for him to be talking too?
Okay.
Does it benefit his client? That's the real question.
Okay. Couple things to unpack with this before we hit the break, and I'm going to make him just sit on this for 6 minutes as we check news, traffic, and weather. Number one, yes, it hasn't reached a courtroom yet. But number two, the overwhelming majority of the people that the defense attorneys are talking to are not on the jury, therefore they do not matter. Number three, get ready for it, Franz. Go ahead, kill his mic now. Go ahead. Where does hubris play in from the criminal defense attorney's standpoint? We're going to talk about it next right here on Talk 107.3 FM.
Are you suggesting?
You got him back on for Facebook? Okay.
Are you suggesting it's about ego? About pride?
Oh, I didn't. I'm asking. I'm not suggesting. I'm merely asking.
Well, so it's always a question of. So
Okay.
So the question is, do the things you're saying further your client's position?
Right.
That's really the only thing you should be doing. I mean, in all honesty, all joking aside, it's not about you. It should be about your client. So are the sound bites that they are making help the client?
You and I are not looking at this through the same lens.
Okay.
There is this, and this is real. Right. And you have to acknowledge this is real. When you're representing your client, you're selling your business as well.
Right.
That news soundbite is it's there. It is there for Kayvon. Is it Kayvon Washington? I don't have the name in front of me right now. Yeah. It's there for the current client, but it's also a free advertisement for the criminal defense attorney. Sure. So
those cannot be.
Why would you not? No, they can't be mutually exclusive because they happen in the same soundbite. They happen in the same video clip.
But you're suggesting are you suggesting that the defense attorney only does it because it's an advertisement?
I'm suggesting that's got to be a part of it.
So my question for you is, if an elected official, a city police chief, a DA, a prosecutor does the same thing, are they doing it for the same reasons? Or you're separating that because, oh no, they work for the government and so it's okay?
So
I mean, come on.
They don't have to go recruit clients.
No,
they don't have to sell themselves.
Arguably,
they prosecute cases.
Hold on,
because the cases happen.
You don't go out and
hire a prosecutor.
I can play this game. A prosecutor, ultimately, at the end of the day, is an elected official. Isn't he selling himself to the people? Come on.
He's also accountable to the people.
Sure.
Which means he needs to be there to prosecute cases. And also, he is there to answer the public's questions.
I'm uncomfortable in this world where you seem to be okay with only one side being able to make comments to the media and the other side doing it. It's somehow wrong. It's somehow wrong.
Two different things. If the media went to Ron Haley for questions and Ron Haley answered questions, that's one thing. If Ron Haley sends a press release out to the media saying, we are going to hold a press conference at this time, at this place, be there or be square.
Were you there?
Huh?
Were you there?
No, I was in Washington, D.C.
Was anybody from Talk 107.3 there?
Well, our news partners from WBRZ and Louisiana Radio Network were there. We were represented.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to watch it had it not been covered.
Right.
And so in that respect, mission accomplished. Right?
Absolutely. He tried it in the media.
Yeah. I will agree with you. When someone says, we are not going to try this case in the media, and then tries the case in the media, that's disingenuous.
When you need to criminally prosecute a case, who are you going to call? You don't see that commercial because that commercial doesn't exist.
The best defense is a good offense. That commercial probably exists somewhere. That probably does exist somewhere.
Should.
Yeah. Because it's true, right?
Absolutely. No, I'm not hating on him for trying it in the media.
You're pointing out he's trying it in the media.
And I'm also pointing out the reasons why.
I have some really important news, though.
What?
The spider monkeys? No,
squirrel monkeys. Yeah.
They've been found.
Oh, thank God.
What are squirrel monkeys?
They're cute little monkeys.
Adorable.
The size of squirrels.
Big eyes? Are these the ones with the big eyes?
Monkeys.
Squirrel monkey.
Yeah, Kayvon Washington and Everett Lee. That's who.
Oh, my God. They are cute.
They've been found.
Are they aggressive?
I think they poo everywhere.
Well, I mean, if that's the standard of aggression, I mean.
I don't know what they do with the poo afterwards. Do they throw it around the room?
They fling it. Yeah. Christy's watching.
Hey, awesome. Franz Borghardt should be Katie Bernhardt's publicist. Who's that again?
I'm Katie Bernhardt.
Galen says, when are we going to hear about whether the 17-year-old gets tried as an adult? I don't know that he does.
He could be.
It depends on.
But isn't he the same one that also raped somebody else? Or is that
No, the 18-year-old. Kayvon Washington is the one who was accused.
Allegedly.
Time to get a look at your forecast. Here is WPRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. I didn't say allegedly. I said accused of. He's accused of raping somebody 3 years ago.
Alondra.
How is that alleged if he was
Accused?
Accused. He hasn't been tried in that case either. which is a whole other thing. How do you rape somebody in 2020 and not?
I think there was probably insignificant evidence. Now there's more evidence because they can cross-pollinate the cases.
Yeah. .636 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Attorney Franz Borghardt in for Legally Serve. We do this every Wednesday. Okay, Franz, got a couple questions for you. How many people sit on a jury?
For this one, it'll be 12.
Okay.
Plus some alternates.
So the number of people in the Baton Rouge metro area, television and radio viewing and listening audience would be more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When a defense attorney calls a press conference, not when a defense attorney is called by media to answer questions. When a defense attorney calls a press conference, who's he talking to?
Potential jurors.
Potential jurors.
Potential jurors and the community that has the vote to vote for a prosecutor, the vote for an acquittal or guilt finding. So it's not as simple as just potential jurors.
Let's back this up to where we were heading into the break, because I think the Facebook audience got a heck of a lot more than what the listening audience has at this point. When a criminal defense attorney calls a press conference, I contend that criminal defense attorney, while potentially serving his client to potential jurors, is also advertising his business.
Okay.
If you're a criminal defense attorney, that's free TV time.
Okay.
That's free radio time, which would otherwise cost you money. When New Orleans hosts the Super Bowl, one of the things that we're told, and this bears out, by the way, one of the things that we're told is that's free advertising for the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. When the Final Four is there,
I'm waiting for the question.
You can't. I'm setting up the question.
Okay.
When the Final Four is there, you can't put a tangible price on because there's a lot of ROI there, but you can't put a tangible price on just how valuable that is. So when you call a press conference and you can get every station in town out to your press conference, that's the same as buying advertising on all those stations. Is that of value to a criminal defense attorney?
Maybe, maybe not. Some clients don't like that. Some potential clients don't want that.
Really?
And yes, there are some clients that don't want to be blown up and highly publicized. They want to be under the radar. They want to be quiet. This obviously is a high-profile case.
Yeah.
But most criminal cases, you'd agree, are not high-profile. A majority of our cases are not high-profile. And most people that break the law, while they may be criminal in nature, they may be doing criminal acts, they don't necessarily want to be in the newspaper.
So wouldn't they tell the defense attorney, look, I've seen your work before. I don't want to go that route with mine.
They just wouldn't even set up a consult for that person. But there are a lot of people that when faced with this kind of a crime may want somebody that is offensive like that and is high profile oriented for media, because to some degree, if you have pieces of evidence, I'm talking about this case, if you have pieces of evidence that may show that your client is not guilty, innocent even, and it gets blown up enough, then that gets the attention of everybody, including the decision makers, the prosecutors.
Okay, so that is an important part, and I'm not overlooking that.
Right.
But I'm asking you to not overlook the part that I'm talking about as well.
Does it help more than hurt? Does it help more than hurt the defense attorney? Probably helps more than hurts.
You think?
It could, yeah. There are people, listen, I'll be vulnerable for a second. Permission to be vulnerable. There are people that love the fact that I do legal commentary and that I do media stuff, and then there are people that won't hire me because I do that stuff. It's
to be fair, though, and I'm going to give you full credit here. In the 3+ years, actually closing in on 4, that we've been doing this segment, you've never once talked about a case that you're working on. You do legal commentary as an outsider, not as the criminal defense attorney. I've never seen you do that.
Generally, and I go full circle back to what I said earlier, and I don't disagree with you that there's a component of hubris and advertising in it. If it doesn't help my client, I don't want to do it.
Right.
If my client, and this is something that happens sometimes, guys. Sometimes the client's like, I really don't want to be in the media. So when Nakamoto or somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, do you want to make a statement?" I may say, "Hey, at this time, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to make a statement. The case is ongoing."
Right.
And that's it.
Which is amazing when that happens, because the overwhelming majority of the time, from the news media standpoint, it's like, well, we don't have a story now. There's nothing that really grabs at this point.
Now, sometimes the media will go to you. So, by the way, this is another thing that a lot of people don't know. Sometimes the media will go to you not because they're trying to quote you or report something. They're trying to get some background. Like, hey, we weren't in court the other day. What happened?
Right.
And it's not anything that they're going to quote you on. It's, hey, we got a new court date and it's on this date. Again, if the client, so the client is the most important piece of this puzzle, or should at least be the most important piece of this puzzle to the defense attorney. If the client tells you, hey, I want to stay out of the media, and you're prosecuting a defense in the media or trying the case in the media, you're not aligned with your client, right? Now, in this case, these guys are probably scared poopless, maybe justifiably. And there is a lot of negative evidence that would probably lead to a conviction circulating. We haven't seen it yet in a court of law. And so anything that counters that negative evidence is helpful to them, right? Like for example,
provided it doesn't blow up in your face at a later date.
Well, that's the problem. It goes back to the second prong of this is credibility. If I say my client is innocent in a way that is historically the most innocent ever, and then the next day my client pleads guilty to the crime and admits to having done it, I lose my credibility with the media.
Right.
If the media ever circles back and shows me to have done that.
Well, if they would do that, though, the media would be having the attorney in their crosshairs and not the case. Right. And that, I would say, shame on the media at that point.
Well, we also do observe that certain attorneys get certain media. Ronald Haley's a good example of Ronald Haley calls a press conference and people show up.
Yes.
I mean, here's the question, media guys. If any defense attorney calls a press conference, is media going to always show up? Not necessarily.
Right.
I mean, if I called a press conference on a shoplifting case, Nakamoto's not showing up to that.
But you're 100% correct.
And I'm not comparing a shoplifting case to a rape.
No, you're not. But I see where you're going. But the other part of this is not a shoplifting case. This is a high-profile case. And one of the things that we were talking about during the break was you said Ron Haley didn't start this.
I don't believe the media, the use of media to perpetuate the case, I do not know that Ronald Haley started it. I mean,
who do you think started it?
I'm saying the media covered the story first, and then I think I'm pretty sure, and I'm not criticizing the DA's office. The DA's office made a statement. LSU's made a statement. I mean, everybody is making statements on this.
Right.
Does he hurt? Here's the question. Does he hurt his client in this case by being really quiet?
I don't think so.
Is the inference, man, this looks really bad? I don't know. That's the question.
I don't think he hurts his client by being quiet here. Right? Just
if you're defending these guys,
digging your heels in right now.
So if you're defending one of these guys and you believe you have evidence to support consent, okay?
Yeah.
And you believe you have evidence to support that she used a fake ID, she was underage, used a fake ID, and willfully got drunk. Nobody forced her to drink. And you have evidence that she consented 5 times. And she wasn't forced. And maybe you have evidence that she wasn't as drunk as she maybe blood alcohol content-wise appeared to be. Would you not leave with that?
The blood alcohol.
Sit on that?
What do you get out of it by using it right now that you can't get out of it by waiting till you're in a courtroom and talking to the 12 people that you need to be talking to?
And so here, the other thing is they're going to indict these guys.
Absolutely they are. There's no way.
Yeah, they're going to indict these guys. Whether or not some of the...
I want to quote my cousin Vinny, but there's an F-bomb in the middle of it.
Yeah, so I don't know if all of them are going to be tried as adults. They could be. But they're going to indict these guys. So the question is when would you start using it? Would you use it before the trial? Would you use it during the trial?
Anything you use now can be picked apart later. Anything you sit on.
Do you waive a jury and have a judge trial? If your defense
is that going to be even possible here? Because if that's even possible here, you're completely wasting your time saying anything at all right now.
Well, she's an elected official too.
The judge isn't going to hold a press conference.
No, but the judge is elected. Her decisions.
But hang on, we got to talk about that too. We got to pause right now. Are we due up for a break right now? Or are we 1 minute out? We're due up for a break right now. It is 6:46 at Talk 107.3 FM. Legally Served continues next. Say that again.
The judge is an elected official. Her decisions are scrutinized just like an elected prosecutor, an elected mayor. Just saying, they're all elected.
You're to say something bad about a judge? Okay, so a judge's decision is not based on the facts of the case. A judge's decision is based on running for re-election.
I'm saying you cannot ignore the reality that they are also affected by political climate. They make decisions based on facts and law, but I mean that's like saying you're not somehow paying attention to ratings. You're going to do good show content. You're going to make a good product, but you're just going to ignore the ratings.
You ready to be shocked?
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to ratings.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
That's just a misnomer about the business.
Just the consultants.
Just the consultants.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which, I mean, again.
I do this show solely to impress my wife.
Arguably, mission accomplished. So do I think that they're victim blaming?
Yes.
I think there's a good argument for that. But again.
Wait. Okay.
But again.
I got to write this stuff down during the breaks because the audience is missing out. Facebook gets all the good stuff.
But can you ask the question about her own accountability without blaming her? Or is that asking about her own accountability, is that victim blaming automatically?
No, I don't think that that's victim blaming, but I think that if you go up to the media and you're like, hey, there's video of her consenting to it, like, then fine.
Okay, but at that point, though.
But if she consented, that's an affirmative defense. If she's ability.
Not unless we all get to see it.
Well,
when the NFL goes to replay, we can watch TV and see the replay.
I got this really good video that I'm not going to show you.
We don't need to see that. I don't think that the public, need to see a video.
We as the public just need to trust the criminal defense attorney holding the press conference.
So let me spoil the surprise. The consent is not the issue. It's her demeanor. Was she obliterated?
Yes.
Or was she not obliterated? Well, that's why the video is relevant. We're in South Louisiana, man. There are people that can hold their booze. I don't know anything about this girl. I don't know her weight, her size. I don't know anything about her health issues.
Don't get over your skis on this one. 0.319 blood alcohol level. You're not holding your booze.
Assuming that is a reliable.
Yeah.
Assuming that's a reliable test. Again, if she looks stone cold sober in the video, would that call you to question the 3.9? If she looks stone cold sober and sounds so stone cold sober, at that point you're like, well, how is the 3.9? How is she at a 3.9?
3.19. It was 3.19. It's 4 times the legal limit.
3.2. How is she at a 3.2 and looks stone cold sober? And then does that call into question? There's an interesting dynamic at play here, right? I'm not saying Alondra's wrong. I was offered to watch the video. I don't need to see it. I'm good. There are a lot of videos and things I've seen in this world, in this job, that I can't unsee. I'm good. Alondra, if you're going to argue, you have to turn your mic on.
It's a good point.
You were pretty impassioned there. You're pretty angry.
Making good points. You were making good points. You were making good points that contribute to the content, Alondra. Yeah. Turn your mic on.
It was, now it's on.
Well,
so the arm get interrupted. So
I'm sorry, Alondra.
What I say doesn't really
I apologize. I won't interrupt you anymore.
Come out the way I would.
That's the whole point.
Getting interrupted.
Yes. There's 3 people shouting.
I'm just getting talked over.
Don't go poor me. Don't go poor me.
I'm not arguing. I'm getting talked over. Like, I can't get my point out. Is what it is.
You can't do it. You especially can't get your point across with the microphone's off.
Yeah.
So here's the hard thing. If I were in their shoes, what would I do? Because it's easy to armchair quarterback, right? If I were in their shoes,
the whole point of the segment.
that's true. I might say, guys, there's a lot of evidence that you haven't made privy to, and I don't want to try this case in the court of public opinion and in the media We're going to wait for our day in court, but I assure you that there's more evidence than you've been made privy to, and that evidence, we believe, is going to lead a jury to proof of reasonable doubt.
Yes. Yes, which is a way different approach than my client is 100% innocent. I've got the video to prove they're 100% innocent.
But I'm not going to show it to you.
But I'm not going to show it to you.
Because I don't want to dance on her grave.
Right. Right. Which is crap, because you're dancing on her grave to do that.
See, I struggle with the victim blaming portion of this. Because I do believe that there should be room for us to question the facts, right? And the questioning of the facts is, how drunk really was she?
Yeah.
Like, is the blood alcohol reliable? You know, does
is
she
the blood
hold
alcohol at 3 a.m.? Broderick says, and I was getting to this point eventually because I've made it before. Just because you stop drinking at 150 doesn't mean your BAC doesn't go up continually.
Right.
Because it hasn't peaked yet. Your blood that's in your alcohol that's in your system is not necessarily in your blood system yet. .652, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, 44 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt rolling right along as part of Mornings with Brian Haldane. Getting you to ABC News here in just a couple minutes. Franz, we walked into the break with about 6 different questions. I wrote down 3 of them, noting that time would be limited on the back end. You were alluding to, you had said heading into the break, let's not forget that judges are elected officials as well.
They are elected officials.
Please walk me through the meaning behind that.
All right. So state court judges in our state are elected.
Yeah.
Okay.
And?
So I'm suggesting that while I believe that every judge should follow the law, should apply facts to law, and make decisions solely on that, ethically and professionally.
Yes.
I'm suggesting to you that the calculus of reelection and what people will think of them comes into play. Now, that's okay to a certain degree. They're elected officials. Their constituents are the state of Louisiana, right?
Right.
So to some degree, I'm okay with that. But if you suggest to me that judges never make decisions based on the idea of reelection or getting raked over the coals in the media, it's a childish proposition to believe that that doesn't ever happen.
What a judge would have to defend on the back end would all come out during the trial.
For example, let's say these guys are sentenced, are convicted and sentenced. Does their sentence, like providing a fair sentence that may be disliked by the media and by the people, does that go into the calculus of the decision? Because here's
say that one more time.
I know, it was poorly said. Yep. Some decisions with any judge have nothing to do with reelection, right? Like a judge that won't run for office again, that will age out, maybe she doesn't care about what the media does or doesn't do with regard to her decision making. But a lot of judges, a lot of elected officials, you deal with politicians on a daily basis. Are you suggesting to me that politicians never care about their decisions as it relates to their ability to get reelected or future elected elections and future races? Come on.
When it comes to reelection, you have to look at their body of work as a whole.
Right.
Okay. And narrowing it down any one particular case or any other politician, one particular bill, one particular measure, you have to look at their body of work as a whole.
But with a judge, you look at the highest profile bodies of work.
Right.
Because we don't look at... Honestly, you don't go down.
You know what? Okay, let me go ahead and put a slam dunk on your point here. Okay, look at our U.S. senators from Louisiana. Between the two, who has the most conservative voting record? That would be Bill Cassidy. Who's more popular among conservatives? That would be John Kennedy. Why? Because when it came time to impeach a former president, one did so and one didn't,
right.
And the one who didn't is the one who's more popular now. Right. I get where you're at there. Right. We got like 4 other things to talk about in 4 more minutes. Accountability versus victim blaming. Ron Haley talked about that. That is a tough one. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to all of that right there. Is there a line that a defense attorney has to walk to say, is there some level of accountability of a person going out, getting smashed beyond recognition, running themselves up to a .319 blood alcohol level versus, hey, she got herself in this position. It's like those two sentences right there are completely different in tone.
So I think you have to start, as a good defense attorney, you have to start from the position of me questioning facts is not victim blaming. Victim blaming historically has been, well, what was she wearing? I mean, if she was wearing slutty outfit, she must have wanted it. That's the traditional historic victim blaming.
Well,
that does
so how
not
much of
work.
that is going to be determined by the actual charges, whether or not it's first degree or third degree rape?
Well, so that's
Because if it's third degree rape, it doesn't matter how drunk she was.
Right. If it's third degree rape, it's whether or not she just could consent.
Right.
Right. So victim blaming is irrelevant. Now, first degree rape and this idea that there was a gang rape, which is an element. I mean, they don't have in the law. It doesn't say gang rape, but I mean multiple people. Well, then it becomes a different conversation.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, guys. I think that there's a delicate and very thin line between victim blaming and what accountability someone has for their own actions. I think accountability is relevant to the conversation of can someone be blamed for her death? I don't know that it works for the rape unless she looks so stone cold. Unless you have a video where she looks so stone cold sober that she's doing calculus and simultaneously calls into question the reliability and the veracity of the blood alcohol testing, then you can have a conversation about accountability and whether or not.
Which walks us to the next point we're going to try and squeeze in before we get to news in about 2 minutes. Saying there's video and then not making video available. This is tough for me because we just spent the last 4 days watching a man be beat to death by police.
Right.
That's video, right? What video is out there that you... When we watch a football game and a coach throws a red flag, we get to see the replay. When a criminal defense attorney says, I have video that 100% proves my point and then cannot show us the video, So normally you'd want to show that video at the press release. Why wouldn't he show the video at the press release? Because it shows, he would argue, I'm arguing for him, he's not here, he would argue that there was something in the video that he is trying to somehow sensitively protect either the public from or the victim's family from. In this case, he's arguing that she consented and that she was able to consent. And so if you believe that she consented and was able to consent, then she had sex with how many dudes in a car? Then put it to rest.
Yeah.
Then put it to rest.
Yeah.
Because you can't just come out and say...
Well, to be fair, he also said, to be fair, I don't represent these guys, but to be fair, he also said, we gave this video to the sheriff's office. We gave this video to law enforcement. And they chose not to mention it in any of the police reports. That's been his position. So, I mean, do I think he should play the video? If he played that video of what happened in that car at that press conference, everybody would be calling him a monster. Come on.
Doesn't it depend on what's in the video, though?
Oh, I think we know what's in the video to some degree. Like, at least the sexual portion of it, everybody would call him a monster.
Don't need to see the sexual portion of it, just need to see the consent.
Right. Allegedly 5 times she's asked, and allegedly 5 times she consents in what he would have you believe to be a sober manner to have sex.
I think the horse is out of the barn on what video we can and cannot see.
Correct.
Like, after watching a man be beaten to death by police officers, not once, every video of these we've seen, it's become murder porn. He's Attorney Franz Borghardt. We do Legally Served at this time every week. I always appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Here comes ABC News on Talk 107.3. We didn't even get the chicken wings. We didn't get to half the...
I didn't even represent these guys. I don't even represent these guys.
Oh, you just did.
Did I represent them?
Yeah, you did.
I was just giving you those thoughts.
I think the videos of getting beat to death and people dying all over the freaking internet are disgusting. Either way, it doesn't matter if it's like, oh, you need to see this. I don't think that we need to see that.
I got into this discussion on TikTok the other day.
It, like, desensitizes us, and so now that's why we're all so fudged up. Because we watch people die all the time.
I agree with everything you just said.
It's messed up.
I agree with everything you just said. But if the video's not out there, then what are the police hiding?
So if you're going to have the press conference, and you have this video, what do you do? How do you play? If you're a defense attorney, Alondra, how do you play your poker cards? Well, let's say hypothetically you were, because we're all armchairing here. How would you play that card?
Like if I had the video.
If you had a video
turn your
that
mic on.
if you had a video that you believed exonerated your client, that was graphic in nature, and in this case, graphic in nature, we all know what I'm talking about. Do you play the video? Do you not play the video? Do you just say, I don't want to play this video because it's inappropriate for the public, but in a court of law, how would you handle that?
So I'm video. This case in the media. So why would it show?
Right. So you wouldn't even have a press conference, right?
What I'm saying, like if that was said, well, I have this video. This video is going to exonerate my client, and look at the video. This is what it shows. I wouldn't do that because I just said I'm not trying this case in the media, but you are if you're showing that video.
If you're having a press conference, aren't you trying the case in the media?
Yeah, that's my whole point.
Holy shit. Half an hour later, you come around to agree with what I led the damn thing with?
I think so.
Okay.
Are we on? Wait, is this
We
recording?
are.
Is this recording?
We are. Hey. When you said this case is going to trial, right in my mind was, you're an Alabama. You killed a good old boy. There is no way this is not going to trial.
Wait, I killed the clerk.
I killed the clerk.
I killed the clerk.
I killed the clerk.
I'll see you guys later.
Later,
That
brother.
was a confession.
Sorry we didn't get to the chicken wings.